Good morning. How are you?
Hi, great. Just again, little technical difficulties with spaces. It's always interesting.
Oh no. It is always interesting. It is definitely. I realized we've moved the space to the morning, so I'm like, oh my gosh, it's
Uh, yeah, so you're probably just barely just waking up and getting started.
yeah. Actually, I woke up at 6 a.m. for some reason. So,
Oh, wild.
yeah. It was one of those mornings. I went for a hike. It's been quite eventful.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, me and my friend are doing this fitness thing, so that's been good. How are you? I was thinking of you yesterday because of your meditations, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do one of your meditations.
I'm so ready for it to be over.
Oh
Um, yeah, I committed a lot. Maybe this fitness thing is a lot for you, but it's been, an hour of meditation a day for 45 days. And then in addition to that, I'm doing this group meditations twice a week. And it's pretty zen. I'm ready to be done.
I just lost you a little bit. Your sound just went quiet a little bit.
I said I'm feeling very zen. I think I'm ready to quit.
Y- Yeah, maybe you just, but yeah. So 45 days is a long time. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. What are you committing to with your fitness practice?
Just to try and because I hike a lot, but I was trying to do it early in the morning because I normally just like to work in the morning. But like if I'm gonna go hiking, it has to be before I start anything, so it has to be early
Mm.
morning. So yeah, it's kind of because we tried going, me and my friend, we tried going at like 5 o'clock, which has been quite good too. But it's like
Mhm.
yeah, it's just either way, hiking up a mountain is always a challenge. But yeah.
Hiking up a mountain at 5 a.m. adds another layer.
Oh my gosh. I see these incredible people, they go to Yosemite and stuff and they like get up and they hike in the morning and I'm just like hang off of mountains in tents and I'm like, wow, you guys are literally insane.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember last time I went to Yosemite, I was like, what is that? And somebody's like, that's tents. And I'm like, yeah, but they're hanging off the side of the mountain. And I'm like, yeah, that's how they sleep. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't be sleeping if I was hanging off a mountain. But
Wow. I don't think I could do that either.
these
You
extreme
have to
people.
trust the tent enough that you can fall asleep, I guess.
No, I know. I know. Yeah, extreme sports has never really been my thing. Like
Hmm.
I appreciate people love it, but I'm like it's yeah, some of them are a little intense.
Yeah, that's not really for me either. I can't comment because I don't skydive, I don't paraglide, I don't do any of that stuff. I kind of like to keep my body, the way it is.
You're the same as me.
Which but it
I am much more beach zen meditation type of person.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm less like I can do it if I'm forced into it, which I was when I was a kid, but like I don't particularly want to do it now.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious there, what else have you been into lately? Are you acting more? Are you working on writing? Like what has been kind of your creative outlet or your work outlet lately?
Oh my gosh. So I'm just doing prep work on this sci fi feature, and it's actually been
Mhm.
really left brain because I've had to do budget and a lot of like logical things to do with that. And having meetings and talking. This has been extremely traumatizing. I'm like, ah. Um, so yeah, no, it's just I'm much like so yeah, that's what's been taking my headspace. But I've been actually
Uh,
really grateful for like a couple of friends who've been supporting me through the process, and that's been nice. Um,
oh, that's fantastic. Now, is this a script that you wrote, or is this a story that maybe you worked with somebody else on?
no, I wrote it myself, and I wrote it like
Oh,
I wrote it. I wrote it a while ago, but as you know, writing a script is not enough. You can't just write a script and then it's like that's Bob's your uncle. It's like you have to get it moving and stuff. So I
mhm.
shot a trailer, and then I had some really great people involved. I think I sent you the trailer. If I haven't, I'll send you it.
Please. Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I think Ben's seen it. Anyway, so now I'm just like, I want to film it, but I also want to do it the right way. I want to pay people, I want to feed people, I want to make sure that I have like a decent enough budget so that it's not um, cutting corners and stuff. So it's a good learning process for me to kind of like look at that from a big angle, as opposed to every other short where I've just jumped in and made it. So yeah.
Yeah, a feature you kind of have to plan it out a little bit more.
Yeah, I know. I mean, shorts, yeah, but you kind of one and done, and then you're like, okay, yeah, we shot that in 12 hours. So yeah, so that's been what I've been working on. What about you? What are you up to?
Yeah, I actually I've been writing the script for the long version, the feature version of Spaceborne, and I spend about an hour a day on that. And then I'm also creating a trailer using AI as well. And I'm gonna do something a little bit unusual.
Cool.
I'm gonna take my different scenes and I'm going to talk them out like I'm telling you a story. And then, with that, I'm going to add images to it. So it's going to be like storytelling time with Emily, but it's going to be the
Nice.
Spaceborne script. And then I'm going to just add some of the images in. And I'm going to see what kind of traction I get. I'm going to see if people dig it. I'm going to kind of like test it first, to see if the story's landing or to see if the themes that I'm picking up on are kind of what people dig. Um, yeah, because I have not made a full length movie before, and I kind of want to make sure I'm going in the right direction.
Wow. I mean, if I know anything about you, you're definitely going in the right direction. I can just see that. So just like trust yourself. But like, I really love the
Yeah.
idea that you're being kind of experimental with it, because it's sort of that's what we have to do, isn't it? With art, as with art, we have to.
Yes, yes. And as an artist, I think there's a lot in sharing it. And with a full length film, it might be a year or two before anybody gets to see it.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know,
Sometimes even
so
sometimes even they don't get to see it. Like people go to me like, "Where's that film that you did in blah blah blah?" And I'm like, I don't know. Actually, it's around. It's probably, it's weird the distribution methods for these things. It's like,
you're so right. Yeah, I think about some old movies I want to watch and I have to like Google it. I can't just go to one place and find it. It's like, well, is it streaming on Apple or
yeah, no.
do I have to? Is it free on my Amazon Prime? Like, do I need to get my friend's Hulu like login? Like, how am I going to watch this movie?
It's actually so true. Yeah, it's like, where is it? Track it down, because Netflix and stuff, they're only like the contracts and stuff. They're only sometimes there for a year or two, and then they're off to a different
Mm.
like home, basically. So yeah, you do have to. And there's some very famous films that are actually hard to watch. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to watch. Came out a few years ago. Don't Look Up. I've been
Oh
really
yeah,
into satires lately. I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
why. I don't know. I'm enjoying kind of like laughing at things that are sort of serious. I guess that's my way of coping. I guess.
No, that's
But
me. I do
yes,
that all the time. I'm very
yeah,
good.
satire really does it for me right now. So yeah, South Park. Don't Look Up. If you have any other good satires that I should watch, let me know.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, a lot of the British comedy is kind of bordering on satire. If you look at like Blackadder and Monty Python and all of that, it's like
Oh yeah.
complete. But I still don't look up in the theater, and I in LA, and I liked it. But like, it depends on the emotional state of like of the society. I feel, because if there's too much horrible things going on, people need comedies and uplifting stuff. So it's
Mhm.
it's it depends. But yeah, I have this thing where like sometimes I just laugh, like stress relief. It's like gallows humor, they call it in England.
Yes. Yes, I have
I'm
that
just
too. It's really healthy, I think.
people are like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, I'd rather laugh than cry at this point in my journey.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Monty Python, and also yeah, Blackadder is really funny, and like Absolute Fabulous is kind of a British comedy that's really funny too.
Oh, yeah, I
So
think I saw that back in the
yeah,
day. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, John Cleese, he's really good. Like anything with him in. A Fish Called Wanda, that's also good. It's kind of dark humor. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's yeah, you just have to. So yeah, how's the weather where you are? How's all of that? Speaking of
We
climate.
got we're in springtime here in Buenos Aires, and we get some rain shower. Like today, we're having a storm come through, which LA, that's very unusual.
Mm.
And I used to live in LA, so I love it. There's change of season here, and it's like 4 proper seasons, and so we're definitely in springtime right now. It's beautiful, in the 60s, and just really nice. So I was going to go biking, but it's raining today, so I'm going to stay home and work.
Oh gosh, it's wild to me to think that it's like spring. It was like when you think of Australia and stuff, it's always like a bit crazy when they like celebrate Christmas and it's on the beach and stuff. So yeah, I see Min. Hold on, let me add him. Oh my gosh, there we go. Let's see. A little bit of connection. Hey, how's it going?
Hello, hello.
Hi, can you hear
Can you
us
hear me?
okay? Yes.
I think this is working. It's been a while since I've been on X Spaces.
We're like that every
How are
week, so
you?
don't worry.
How are you? I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to finish a meeting here in Greece.
That's okay.
Um,
Thanks for joining us. This is
but I am
Emily, my
present now.
co-host.
Hi,
Cool.
Hi,
Emily.
Min.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome. Yeah, so glad to have you.
We were just talking about
Yes.
how it's spring in where Emily is, and
Yeah, I'm in the southern hemisphere, so we're tracking
Oh, where are
the
you?
season. I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh, you're in Buenos Aires. Oh, nice.
so
Very cool. Well, I'm also. Well, no, I'm not. I'm in the northern hemisphere. Never mind. Nice.
Maybe next week you'll be in the southern hemisphere.
I hope to be. Well, I will be in Buenos Aires next year for sure because
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
planning to live out of Colombia and Argentina for that's the plan. So
For
that's
like 2026,
yeah,
that's great.
for 2026 I'll be there for spring 2026. I'll be in Latin America. So I'll
Fantastic.
start with Mexico, then I'll move down to Colombia, then Argentina, then Brazil, and Chile. I think those are the 5 countries I'm going to hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
cool.
So I need to brush up on my Spanish and yeah.
You're
You
like
can
the
do it.
definition of.
I've been taking classes every day, and my Spanish has gotten much better. Or not every day, every week. I've been taking classes every week.
Nice.
You can do
That's.
it.
Órale.
Yeah.
Min, are you
¿Por qué?
traveling with work? I'm so curious what you're working on right now, and where you are and what you're doing.
I only travel for work. I actually dislike travel. Although I do like being in new places and meeting people and other cultures. I just don't like transit.
The process.
So I'm
You should
just
get on that new rocket
sacrificing
ship.
my time and my body. That's right. I'm basically sacrificing my time and body to filmmakers and filmmakers. And I was just now talking to a new friend who wants to help build the Athens Greek community here. So yeah, that's the dream.
That's fantastic. And tell us a little bit what you're building. Is this the machine cine that Sarah sent us?
Yeah.
Machine
Yes.
cinema.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's right. So that's what machine cinema really is. It's we call it a community. It's a collective. It's an ecosystem. I think sometimes we're leaning to the word infrastructure, an advocacy group. It's a lot of things at once. But in some ways, you could think of it as an ecosystem that is trying to help lead the movement around AI creativity. And so we do that through events, workshops, education work, in person. We do a little bit of online stuff, including like podcast and a newsletter and a live weekly live talks. And then we're ramping that up with a few more like kind of like live education workshops. So we're really all about live and like in person. We say AIRL meaning like AI in person. And then we and then we also do like other stuff like advocacy work. So we're trying to figure out engaging with the unions, the TV Academy, the Film Academy. How do we support AI creators and like advocate for them? Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we have an online community where people are interacting all every day, literally trying to keep up with things. And we are also working on a new thing now lately, especially last like 3 or 4 months, which is like conference activations, where how do we get like 300, 400, 1,000, and we are potentially partnering with an event that has 60,000 people. How do we get 60,000 people to generate art at the same time or generate a film all at the same time? And so that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, like, yeah, because for us, it's like we believe that AI is going to enable co-creation at scale. It's going to enable us to collaborate in completely new ways, and we want to showcase that by saying, "Hey, look, let's get three." I've already done this last year in DC at Aspen Institute, where we had 300 people literally create a short film in like 40 minutes, which was a crazy endeavor to pull off.
That's true.
But it was super fun. And so we're trying to do more of that. Like we're actually building our own software to enable that to happen faster. And so yeah, that's kind of it's like kind of where we're doing software stuff for fun to do these live activations. We're doing the events and workshops and the community to learn and to like build bigger projects. And then we also have our own production house where we actually do our own experimenting research, working with like clients like A&E, History Channel, on like how do we prototype what your content will look like in the future. So that's kind of the range of stuff that we do.
I bet a lot of people are asking that too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, we have a project. I have a secret project with Sarah that I've been working on for too long now.
Secret project.
I wish we were farther along, but that's right.
It's been great though. Actually, yeah, I'm really grateful that I met you because, you know, the way everything's going AI and stuff, it's such a big curve, isn't it, in terms of like the amount of stuff going on, like you mentioned.
I know, it's crazy. And it's hard to keep up, and I always feel kind of behind when I'm traveling. You know, but then I also feel like, hey, I'm getting to meet people where they are at their edge, you know. So it's fun.
You're literally the definition of digital nomad at the moment. I mean, I was like, wow, like, you're all over the world.
I'm an AI nomad.
Yes, an AI nomad, exactly.
We need to make you an avatar, so your avatar can travel on the airplane and you can stay home.
That's right.
So how did you, like, for everybody else, how did you first get into AI? Like, what was your like transition into that? Like, how did it evolve?
I guess, you know, because I started a company in 2000, I guess early 2020, late 2019, co-founded a company that was a Web3 platform. At first, it was actually a media company where we were trying to be like media to the world, like kind of like trying to tell Asian stories to the world. Asian American. I lived in Asia for about 14 years, and I was a journalist as a part of that time. And long story short, that company like kind of rose and fell in a way with Web3 and crypto. And as I kind of like was exiting the company in 2020, I just got really depressed because I was just like, crypto and Web3 have kind of disintegrated, you know, and what's next, you know? And around that time, ChatGPT came out, and I started playing with ChatGPT and trying to figure out what it's possible, playing with Midjourney and then DALL-E. And then from there, my friends and I were experimenting with live streaming actually. So we would live stream storytelling where I would basically run Midjourney and my friend Gwen would run ChatGPT, and we would treat ChatGPT like a dungeon master. So we'd be like, okay, ChatGPT, pretend you're a dungeon master and walk us through a space scenario and give us options on what to do. And we would play and we would display ChatGPT on one side and then Midjourney on the other side. And I would run Midjourney and I would just like animate new images in the background, so that's what the viewer saw. No one was watching us, but it was kind of an early period when we were experimenting. Oh, what could this medium do? And then from there, it really became like me and my co-founder Fred at Machine Cinema were like, oh, we should do like these. We should do a podcast or a vlog about what's happening because we're really interested in it. Then we started experimenting with our friends, like literally in my backyard or my friends' living rooms, where we would like get together and like just watch each other prompt. So it was like an in-person version of the live streaming that I was doing. And that was super fun because we could play around with and see how other people were prompting. And that's how doing Gen Jams with Machine Cinema really started coming together. It's like we were doing more and more of these Gen Jams. We started getting to like figuring out how that worked. How can we get a group of people in person to create something, right? How can we get us to create art together or create films together? And we started almost like productizing / productionizing that process, where it was like, how do you figure out how to get 60 people in a room and get them to produce something good? That was really hard. But that really is kind of how we continually started to lean in more and more with AI. Like it quickly went from, hey, I want to do my own films and doing my own experiments to, oh my God, I want to lean into like this new movement, this community of people that are doing stuff. And I know that there's like a world there where it's like, hey, doing stuff in isolation and making your own films, which I still do for fun, because I moved to LA to be a sci-fi writer, and now I'm like animating my favorite stories for fun. But really, like what I fell in love with was like the community potential, and so that's long story short, or maybe I said a short story long, but
No,
that's
that
kind of
was
it.
really cool, and I love the concept of Gen Jams. Like for everybody who doesn't know, can you describe that a little? Because it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, basically a Gen Jam is our version of a video hackathon or an AI hackathon. I mean, anybody can do, in my opinion, an AI video hackathon, but Gen Jams are our own flavor of that, which is, you learn AI tools, and we partner with a bunch of AI tools. I think we have over 40 or 50 partners now. So we teach the tools and you learn them. Sometimes that can be very intimidating, and a lot of people give me like 50% of the people that come to our events are beginners, and usually like 25% intermediate, 25% advanced. But the beginners always give me a glazed look over their faces at first, and then like once I separate them into groups after I've done a little demoing, they start getting groups of smaller groups, and they start figuring out these tools, and that's when things really start to light up in people's minds, like, oh my God, I can do this, I can actually prompt something. AI seems really intimidating, and obviously a lot of different tools can do a lot of different things, and so that's something that we've tried to figured out over time, is like, what are the themes, what are the things we're trying to achieve, depending on the tools that we have. And then at the end of it, it's we watch everything. So our motto is like learn, create, play. Like you learn stuff, you create with the group, and then you play what you created. And for us, that's really the formatting. We've done it where, hey, you create a video game, you create a film, you create art, you create whatever. And the purpose is to do that, to learn, create, and play all in like anywhere from like 90 minutes, even sometimes like 30 minutes, all the way into like ideally like 4 to 5 hours, which is, and yeah, so we've done that now like 80, 90 times around the world, in over 20 countries. And yeah, it's been awesome. So that's what a Gen Jam is. Again, a long story, or a short story long, sorry. But yeah,
That's
that's the
so
process.
that's so awesome. I really love that people can come and then they can go away with having created something, and it's like no matter how steep the learning curve is, they achieve that. So it's a great concept.
I
So
love
what kind of
that.
I have a
Oh, go ahead.
question. I was in the Web3 space also, so I remember that 2020, that whole wild that whole wild time with metaverses and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
So I feel like a lot of us are dabbling into AI now. Um and that's kind of same for me.
right.
I started a copyright online automated system for the entertainment industry, and now I'm thinking I need to add AI and I need to update, and recode AI into the whole program now because it seems, much more efficient. Are there any issues, like what like challenges did you run into, like adapting AI into your stuff? Like what have you seen? Because I feel like it's still like a newer technology. Like we need more. I mean, it's not always like when you're using ChatGPT and stuff. I see like, oh, like, oh, okay, this isn't exactly accurate, right? So like, it has a lot of room and to grow and potential, obviously, still, right? So I'm just curious, what have you run into challenges with it?
For my own creations or in the teaching of how to create.
Yeah, like in general.
I guess like for my own stuff, I mean, definitely there's always limitations, but I think what we learned early on, especially with Midjourney, one is Midjourney remains probably my favorite tool just because it's so fast and it's so aesthetically pleasing that. But in the early days of Midjourney, I think we learned that hey, like it's more fun. You kind of lean into just that it has potential, right? That it's hallucinating. You lean into that, and as opposed to when ChatGPT is hallucinating, you're like, oh, this is not useful because I need you to actually create this document or to do this research, and you're just straight wrong if you remember to read it. But with Midjourney, it's like I tried to create a rabbit, and I'm sure plenty of professionals are like it's not able to get the exact consistency or the thing that I want. But I think native AI creators find that, hey, sometimes it gives me the wrong rabbit or it makes the rabbit too tall or too red or whatever. And leaning into that unpredictable thing or that shocking thing that you didn't ask for is, to me, a part of being a native AI creator. It's like, and I think a lot of anti-AI folks will say, "Hey, like there is AI is removing the human from the thing, from the act of creation," or they're saying that, "Hey, like all you're doing is prompting." Whereas I think like what's happening is that yes, I'm prompting a rabbit, and it's very simple, but I am choosing which rabbit that I like from what I'm getting, and I'm leaning into, hey, I didn't expect that to happen, and that's an indication of what I actually like, what I actually think, what my taste is, what my storytelling is, and I'm allowing myself as a human to be influenced by the AI to kind of like wander around what the story potential is. So sometimes, and on the other side of that, it's like sometimes you do just run into a scenario where the AI tools are just not doing what you want. It's just impossible. It just doesn't ultimately do, let's say, like I'm trying to make my character fly and it refuses to make it fly. I have to now cut my losses because I don't have time, or because I'm saying, hey, like I can't do this. It's never going to do the thing that I want. So I'm just going to have to make my character run in space, right? And so like leaning into the limits and leaning into the kind of like hallucinatory potential or the hallucinatory like, suggestion, I think is what is fun about the process. And so that on one side, I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, that's great. I love that. You get
Yeah.
to strategize even using the tool, but it'll be interesting for sure over the years to see how it evolves. And then you touched on something where people are like, oh, well,
Yeah, and I think it's getting better.
yeah, oh, definitely way better. But that's with every technology, right? So it'll be wild to see what happens with it. But it's interesting what you said about, like people are getting scared because they're like, oh, it's like, humans aren't going to be doing it. But it's just like kind of like you said, you're in LA. It's like the robots that run around LA. It's like humans are controlling those delivery bots. So it's like, I don't think people are realizing that there still needs to be like humans operating these things.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's really
And I
great.
think that will continue to be true. And I think, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. I think it's so great that you're saying like lean into the mistakes, quote unquote, and just kind of, go with the flow. I think that's a really unique thing about AI art making. I have a question. I actually want to lean into this human conversation. Like, what are you seeing when you get these new people with experienced people? Like, what's the energy and the human experience like at your events?
I mean, I think it's, I did we do these events called walk-in jams, right? Where essentially we get people to come to a museum and download some AI apps or whatever apps that we have, and then walk around, take pictures of statues or paintings or architecture, and then animate them or animate yourself. So I did one recently where someone had created in Nigeria. I went to a gallery, an art gallery in Nigeria. They had like this huge metallic gorilla there, and I had the gorilla like attack me and beat me up. And so and that I showed that to the art gallery curators, and they were like flabbergasted. And they were like, "Please send us all your generations. We can use this for marketing. We can use this to do interactions and get people to come to the art gallery and have that be like an interactive experience." And the videos of the people that we took of me showing them like what happens when you animate something that they've spent maybe years walking around with, and then suddenly it's like moving around or it's dancing. There's something kind of uncanny. There's something kind of special about that moment. They're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool that you can do that." Um, so for me, we've done that event maybe about 4 or 5 times now. And one event I always remember because this person who I would describe not as anti-AI, but an AI skeptic for sure, who actually was a documentary filmmaker who has made films about, warning about tech. And we did this walk and jam at a museum in New York. And at the end of it, she was like, "Okay, I get it. I'm convinced," because there was a real element there of humanity in that we were all taking pictures of the same sculptures or the same paintings or the same like displays of a whale or whatever. We went to the Natural History Museum, and uh, and it was really like challenging for people to come up with something creative. It was still just because the AI tool was there. It's not like everybody had the same outputs, and so like you could see it live. Like we all take a picture of the same whale, and then one person, uniquely came up with one where the whale like ate us all and along and turned us into shrimp or something like that. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so creative at this. You came at this from a different angle." And I think that's how all of this is still very human in that if you are confronted with a blank page, what are you going to do with a blank page? If you're which you could do anything, you could write anything, you could write fantastical universes or a sci-fi or a legal document or whatever. If you're confronted with the infinity of an AI model that can do anything, that can create any video, any image, what are you going to do with it? And I think it comes back down to you as a human being the decision maker around, and the creative eye or the creative thinker around, oh, what would I do with anything? What would I do with infinity?
Do you have any events coming up in LA? I'd love to participate in a IRL.
I think we do. Yeah, we try to do events once a month in the main hubs, San Francisco, New York, and LA. And then we are trying to activate different hubs around the world to do that. So yeah. And if anybody wants to host an event, I'm happy to help, even from afar.
I'll help in Argentina. You can count me in.
That's so cool.
Please.
I put the link in the
I'm
chat.
excited to do so.
Is the website, which one would you like, Machine Cinema, or where's the sort of point of like public facing for this?
Yeah, I would say machinecinema.ai is it's starting to update the website. but yeah, that should also have the link tree and all of that.
That's really cool.
This is really exciting, man. I'm so curious, like, do your sponsors kind of sponsor the events, or do you guys charge for tickets? Like, kind of how have you been working on that side of it?
It really depends. It's been very experimental in that. We've even done events where it was like we charged $200. We've also done events where it was $15 just to confirm attendance and get everybody food. Most of the time they've been free. We've had sponsors who sponsor food and beverage, but it depends. And we're trying to scale up all the sponsorship. Like I want to get more sponsors to come through on an annual basis so that we can support all the different hubs around the world. Because really, like for me, ideally we have New York, San Francisco, LA. Those are kind of the main hubs in America. How do I get them to be sustainable? Those communities can help each other. They can learn. They can become their own learning ecosystems. And then how do we help people in Latin America, in Europe, in Africa, Asia, Middle East, all these regions? How do we help level them up and plug them into what I like? Because I feel that this is a movement. We've done Gen Jams where I've taught kids who are as young as 8 years old and elders as old as 87 years old. And there's still like with ChatGPT, it's like when I prompt ChatGPT, it is exciting to see how intelligent it can be even when I talk to it. But there's something that goes off in the light bulb when you prompt and you get an image back or a video back. And with the 8-year-old, once I taught him how to prompt and do all this stuff, he didn't want anybody to touch his computer. He was just like, I'm going. I have the exact vision of what I want to make. I'm going to keep doing it. And when I taught the 87-year-old, they're like, wow, I can finally tell this story that I've always wanted to tell to my grandkid, because they don't want to listen to me, but they love to all look at a screen, and now I can turn that into a story. So I think that's really kind of this kind of why I lean into this as a movement, not just as a thing that is going to transform filmmaking, right?
Wow, that's amazing. I love that you're doing that. I'd love to come to one of your events. Sarah and I are both in LA. We going, Sarah?
Yeah, definitely. I actually meant to go the other time. I just had a scheduling conflict, but you've done like 2 really cool ones recently. So yeah, for sure. Let's go.
Awesome. I'm so in. Yeah, I'll let you all know.
Yeah, I added it in the chat. I've added it. So in terms of like, because obviously it's like such a tool and everybody's getting, utility, it's a learning curve and all of that. Can you talk a little bit about like the sentiment you've been feeling? Because I know personally what you've been going through. Are you comfortable sharing some of that on the aspect of the sort of the more anti-AI sentiment?
Oh, the anti-AI. I mean, that is always interesting. I tweeted something. You can probably see it if you scroll far enough into my tweets. But basically, I tweeted something to the effect of, "Hey, I think that AI filmmaking and creativity is like hip hop. It's like punk rock. It's a countercultural movement. It is, it's here to stay. It's evolving. It's changing. It's challenging, and it's very controversial." So, and I went viral, which was a little crazy. I didn't expect that because I felt like I was just addressing my community, which I feel is just the AI filmmaking community. And after about a few hundred likes, I started to get attacked by a lot of people, and a lot of people were like giving me death to me, or that what I was doing is evil and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't expect that, but I heard a lot of people go through that as well. And I started to respond to a lot of people, and I've been thinking about, writing a blog post about this. But the original tweet came out of this sentiment that I've been feeling when I meet AI filmmakers around the world. This is something that I think is unique for me because I might have traveled to more places in the world just to meet AI filmmakers. And it is just so fascinating because a lot of them feel like they are in a counterculture. A lot of them feel like they're punk rock, and a lot of them feel like they're hip hop. In what sense? So like counterculture in the sense that they are able to finally tell stories that they haven't been able to do so because it was too expensive, or gatekeepers didn't let them, or because they've been trying their best in the film industry and they got blocked from telling the story they wanted to tell, so they had to tell the stories that their seniors or the producers wanted to tell, right? Or the executives wanted to tell. So here they're getting a license because look, I can just prompt whatever I want to do, and it's easier, it's cheaper, and I can finally do that story that I've been holding back, right? And we did an event at Gen Jam at the TV Academy, and we asked how many people have something that they've always wanted to turn into something and have written it and haven't. And literally everybody raised their hand, right? And that was like 100 something people. So like everybody experiences this. And that is the counterculture side to me. The punk rock side to me is that, hey, like, I think punk is inherently, in some ways, like, uh, counter establishment, counter trends, counter. So like if we look at the perception of Hollywood, where it's like sequels and IP that exists, like Barbie, etc., or the domain of very powerful white men and directors who've been supported forever, who are awesome, right? But there's not enough representation at the very top end. And so like the punk rock in the sense that, hey, people are going to now use AI to create, in my opinion, films that are approaching the quality, maybe not the storytelling yet, but the quality in terms of production of these high budget films, which is really exciting. And then I think the hip hop element is, you know, when you look at things like graffiti, what are the aspects of hip hop, of like graffiti, remixing, you know, turntables, and that whole culture of sampling, like that comes out of hip hop. And I think there is something to be said for AI being a type of a sampler, or being a type of a remixer, right? And there is something to be said for plagiarism and copying and stealing of data, but there is a hip hop element to this, where more than ever I have access to a lot of different types of art, and I can use that to remix into my art way easier, way faster. Um, and so, yeah, I think that was, and I didn't get a chance to articulate that because I think the anti-AI universe is so loud, and it comes from a place of a lot of issues. Like I think the fact that huge figures like Trump, Elon, Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, who are controversial, right? A lot of people hate them, a lot of people love them, and they are associated with AI. When AI is associated with job loss, with Doom, with Terminator, right? With her, with people committing suicide, literally, people, you know, hurting themselves because of AI, going into psychosis. Like AI has become such a broad subject that when you say, hey, AI is going to revolutionize creativity, or when it's going to democratize creativity, or things like that, it comes along with all of the stigmatism from the rest of AI. And so, like, I think that's a journey for us as an AI creativity movement of how do we counteract that, or how do we clarify, or how do we, you know, strike our own culture around what does that look like. And I do think that it's a new culture. I think that just like hip hop and punk is a new culture, so do I also think that AI creativity, because of its nature of having to lean into unpredictable things, of the things that we're talking about, of like taste and liking and decision making, and the element of counterculture and punk and hip hop, I think all these things and more require that we have to create a new culture around how do we approach AI as a creative tool and movement.
I love what you're doing. I mean, I
That's
think
that's all.
sometimes
I hope
it's
that's.
I think sometimes it's just about like educating people more as well. So like doing these events like you're doing in person, and because that's how what we ran into in Web3. They thought we were all like some cult, and we're sitting here with like all these developers and coders and trying to like advance technology, and we got a lot of backlash back then too. So, you know, and technology, I think sometimes people are scared of it, you know, or they don't understand it. So it's like a whole, you know, a lot of different components, right, in the whole process. It's definitely not for the faint of heart to be doing new technology. It's really wild. So it's amazing what you're doing, and I just think educating people is will help, you know, if they're open to it, right? And then the bad news, right? The people that are like posting on social media and maybe saying things that aren't true about it. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
what's really
I
interesting
totally
is
agree.
yeah, I think what Min is doing just with engaging people and like putting these tools into hands of people who can't try it. I know, for example, like some of the AI tools would be very expensive for people in Argentina, and just getting people the chance to try it, I think, allows them to experience, everything that he was just talking about, and that maybe some of us have experienced using AI too.
Yeah, it's Hans, you have a question?
Yeah, I did. Although actually, that was kind of answered very well. I would like to tell you that I think another thing that's going to happen is that as actual more established people start adopting it, mentalities will absolutely change. I was just reading an article about how Timbaland was using, he spent like a whole month or two experimenting with what's it called, the music one, the Suono, I believe, and he was having fun, and he was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do now. So that ties back with to your hip hop comment.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's Suno.
Yeah, totally. It's a new tool for these people to take things to the next level, right? And I think it's going to change the way we see what is creativity and what is originality and what is enjoyable. Like, I think these are all questions that I definitely don't have the answer to, and I don't think really anybody does, because I think we're also in year 2, and it's funny because I remember Steve Jobs was saying that it's like that it takes like 5-year cycles or 10-year cycles sometimes for a new technology to become a standard. Like for laptops to come out, how long did it take from the beginning of a laptop being introduced to finally everybody needs a laptop? It takes a really long time, and I think that is going to be, of course, going to be also true here. Like when we look at browsers or what are like chat apps and things like that, and I think AI is moving so fast that it's almost like quicksand. It's hard to know where it's landing even now. And is this current state of constant progress and constant remixing and constant change to the workflows going to land somewhere stable, or is it just going to be this all the time forever? I hope not, but I'm also kind of like wondering, hey, do I just need to adjust to this now? Because we've been in that for 2 years, right? So
I think it's going to be rapid development at this point. It's like, when we had the 90s and the .com, and remember eBay came out, it's like it almost looked like it was a scam. I'm like, is this real? Right? So it's like on steroids compared to what it was then, the way technology moves now. So I think it'll evolve very quickly. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's definitely gonna. Min, could you talk a little bit about workflow? When you mentioned workflow and being challenged, what did you mean by that part of it?
yeah, I mean, I think that there is going to be a constant change to what is the what is the way to use tools together in concert, because we've got like every other month I feel like the workflow is changing, or every week the workflow is changing, because new tools are coming that are changing what is possible. And so like right now I'm like Mid-Journey with maybe Korea, with maybe FreePick mixed with Magnific for upscaling. Then I'm porting the image, the upscaled image into back into Kriya or into Kling or some other tool. Then I'm taking that video and I'm upscaling that in Topaz, or I'm taking that in Editor. Like these workflows are becoming more and more complex. At the same time, there's tools that are bringing them together. Weavy, Flora, Comfy, they're all infinite canvases, which use a nodal type software, which are kind of bringing things together. Versus there's also these tools that allow you to bring multiple things together into an agentic filmmaking experience where, hey, I'm literally prompting a paragraph and it's coming out for me with an entire 3-minute film or 1-minute film. So that's coming really fast. And so what does that all look like when I use it in concert, when I use different things together? So that's kind of what I refer to as workflow, like all these things working together and becoming better at weaving them together, adapting.
Yeah, it's very improvising, you know, you're like, how do I make it work? What tool can I use? How can I get it to do this? And then it's like bringing in all different tools
Right.
to get that to happen. Which I think goes back to the
Right.
point of like, you do need humans. It is human driven at this point. It's not like you can just go to AI, make me a movie. And it goes like, there you go. It's
Right.
very, very, very human driven. And Emily, you know this, right? Because you know, experience.
Well, then before we were talking also, how to distribute it, how to distribute this out, where people are going to want to see it in this AI form, whether it's, YouTube or social media or, you know what I mean? We still have to figure all that out too.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm curious,
Distribution is
Min,
definitely.
have you guys thought about creating a
Totally.
platform?
We actually do have our own platform that we use just for our events. So we built a little software platform that allows you to create without a credit card. Because what we found when we were teaching in different countries or with young students, they didn't have a credit card, and so we built this tool that allowed it for us to more easily just, hey, get people signed up right away, and they start generating. And that has also bled into, hey, how do we build these tools that allows anybody to jump on and create a big work of art
So is that your website there where
simultaneously?
I can
And so
look
that's
into
been
that
really.
to sign up? Is that your website there on your
Uh,
page?
we don't share that link publicly,
Oh,
but
okay.
you can check out. I can send it to you privately.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah,
That's
because we
so
just use that in
so
person
my
at
last
events.
type thing.
Yeah,
Speakeasy, AI speakeasy.
yeah.
There's an
It's a
idea.
speakeasy. That's right.
AI speakeasy. You only get the secret code if you go to one of the Gen Jams.
It's a good filter though, honestly.
That's right.
Because then you get people who
That's
are
right.
definitely interested. It's like a filter of who wants to do
It's
it.
that
Hey, I mean,
exclusivity thing that people like.
people are into it now. I mean, people who are into AI now are curious people inherently. It's self-selected for curious people, right? And I think that's really special about this current moment. I don't know how long that will last, but I think that's a really exciting thing about the current community, is that people who are coming into this are resisting the anti-AI talk. They're resisting their peers sometimes who are saying, "Hey, it's bad," and they're gonna try. Hey, I want to try this thing out, and that's great. Like, a curious community is just awesome. The best type.
Yeah, it is. It is. And despite all the challenges and the trolls and all of that, I think it is like what you're doing is really amazing. And like, all of the countries and all of the events, I'm like, I actually don't know how you do it. It's pretty inspiring. There's a lot going on.
I don't know either.
You must have a
Well,
team
thank you.
of gnomes and elves working for you.
I
AI.
have elves, yes.
AI.
No,
Well, if
I
you
mean, I
did
have an
AI
amazing team of
yourself, you could be
people at
everywhere.
Machine Cinema. I mean, hey, I mean, I will say that like the amazing thing has been working with people locally wherever I go. Like, people are just into it, which is amazing, and also people just step up. Like, the great thing about the events, like my favorite, I've done a lot of events even before this, but like most times when you do an event, people will come up to you and you say, "Oh my god, good event." But I've learned to ignore that because people are just nice and they'll always say, "Great event, good event, you did great." But the validation for me that we're doing good events is when someone comes to me and says, "Love the event, how can I help you do the next one?" And that's almost always happened. And that's been great for us, is that that's really how this has all really happened, is that we just work so hard on what a Gen Jam is, and it's resonated with some people, and those people have really stepped up, and they're awesome, and they get it, and they're also creators themselves, and they understand, like, they feel something, because maybe some of them, they've been doing AI filmmaking or art or design in isolation, and we do this thing and they get to meet all these other people. Some of them are new and some of them are as experienced or more experienced than them, and they get to meet other people who are doing it, and it's a special thing,
I love that. Have you guys? I'm looking at your
especially in this
cities.
time that things are
Have you
lonely,
guys gone to
you know.
Miami? I'm looking at the cities you've been in. Have you noticed other cities more receptive than
We
others?
haven't, but we've been talking to somebody.
What was that?
we have been talking to people in Miami. There are definitely cities that are more receptive than others,
I just know Miami's very
and
tech
it kind of
forward, so
depends
I would
on.
think that they would want to do it, you know.
They are, and we definitely want to do something there for sure. Yeah, I'd love to do it in Miami, but I can only be in one place at a time, or two at most.
That's funny. Yeah, Miami's good, especially like around Art Basel and all of that kind of stuff. There is some, potential for events there. But again, it's organization, and like you said, having somebody on the ground who knows the culture and who knows like what's going on is really invaluable, actually.
Yeah, we have to lean into who's receptive, who's around, and we lean into our network. Like a lot of every city that I've done something in was because someone found us online or someone found us through our community, someone recommended someone, and then that's why we ended up doing something there. So, yeah.
That's super, super
But
cool.
I think at some point machine cinema will be irrelevant. At some point we might be irrelevant because at some point the movement will be bigger than everything anybody can predict because the tools will be so much easier. The things, it'll just be in the water, so to speak. And so like what we're doing now is kind of like it's kind of a unique moment. It's almost bittersweet, I feel, in a way. Like I get to be here in Athens or in Lisbon or in Nigeria in Lagos, and I get to see the beginning of, but I know at the same time that I'm gonna blink and it's gonna be 2 years or 5 years later and everybody's gonna be creating their own films or art or things like that. Right. I think to me that is inevitable. I might be, smoking my own speak, but I think that's something that people actually want, and I think that is going to cause my optimistic view on this on AI in general is that AI is going to cause more empathy because we're going to be able to tell stories that usually don't get told to more people in the world. We're going to be able to like the impact of a film like Schindler's List or an impact of any film of that caliber or that nature, or Oppenheimer or whatever, where they are talking about tragedy or talking about a very human experience. Every society and culture has had that, and we don't know enough about those societies. We don't know enough about the things that these people, everybody has gone through, and I think that is going to be a big unlock.
I 100% agree with you. I see a huge renaissance right around the corner. I'm glad you see it too. It feels so close.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you say that, but it's actually true. It's like it is giving tools to people, and once people can work the tools, there definitely will be much more content. But thank you so much for joining us. I think we're having a little bit of connection issues. So does anybody else have any questions?
No, thank you. It's been so fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, you got me to wax poetic.
Oh, we did. I know. I'm so impressed.
For longer than I probably should,
That's the way it goes.
I'm not supposed to talk this much. Everybody's supposed to be prompting right now. It's not,
No,
I don't usually do wax poetic.
it's good. I'm sure your advice helps a lot of people, and people can listen to this after. So it's been great. Thank you so much for joining, and I'm glad we managed to make it work with 3 different countries and 3 different time zones and all the rest of it.
Thank you, Sarah, for
Yes.
doing this. I love that
Awesome.
we are doing this every week.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thanks for bringing us together.
Yeah, hope to see you guys at like an event. We'll try and get something in LA or wherever.
Will do.
All right. Well, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you all.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks so much. See you there. Nice meeting you guys. Bye.